Hi everyone, so we're going to be doing our early June garden tour today. We're in a little bit of a rush. We're trying to beat the sun, so please forgive me if I run through some things too quickly. We're going to start here at the front flower bed. So starting from here, I went ahead and planted the Bobo hydrangea. It was damaged by some pests. I guess they came and dug it out, so it's not looking good right now, but I have another one on the other side that I will show you how it should be looking. These are the gladiolas that I added here. We are dealing with spotted lanternflies right now, so you will see those bugs around the garden. They are growing really nicely. I love how they are framing this pole. I also went and added the solar lights, and they look really pretty at night. If I get a clip of that, I'll add it in this video. The zinnias are looking pretty done, so I will be seeding more zinnia here and also deadheading, because if you come closer you could see that they are pushing out nice fresh foliage. So if I go ahead and deadhead most of these, it should make it look, a little bit refreshed. The crespedias, they are still foliage right now. Soon we'll be able to see those nice yellow blooms. I went ahead and planted some snapdragon here, and if you look here, a mushroom actually formed around the snapdragon. I'm just gonna go ahead and peel this off. I completely forgot to do that. I'll finish that later. We are having some issues with insects, like for example, this salvia is, being eaten up. All of the artichokes did survive, and they're looking good. They're a little bit behind the rest, but that's because they were also being eaten in the beginning. The eggplant, this is the amethyst eggplant, and this is a more bushier eggplant. I thought that popping it in here would give it a nice pop of purple, and it is doing really well. So if we come over here, we have the black-eyed Susan, and as you can see, the flowers are about to open up. We have a lot of flower heads here. These are all black-eyed Susan. And then we have the salvia. Oh, this is gross. We have the Cyrus salvia here. We also have one back there. And then we have the beautiful African daisy here. The calendulas are doing exceptionally well, so well that it's actually hiding some marigolds under here. You can see here, so I will have to transplant these marigolds and just kind of let the calendula fill in. I don't think you'll have a problem doing that at all. I don't remember what this one is. I'm thinking it's a scabiosa, but I'm gonna double check that just to make sure. And then we still have the blueberries back here that are doing really well. This is the hardy blue variety. We had one back here that has been eaten up, but it is coming back. You could see that. So had some dead stems eaten up. We have the asters back here. They haven't flowered yet, but they are getting nice and big. So in this first bed, we still have the snapdragons. The petals are just so beautiful. I am definitely going to be putting a lot more snapdragons in the garden next year. The eggplant, they're taking their time, but they're growing, they're coming up. I did pop a rosemary here, and and I hope it gets pretty established and just kind of flows over the side of this bed. The peppers are doing really well here. We have some sweet peppers coming here. We have some little ones here, some here. This is the purple cayenne, and look at this. Look at that. Love it. Nothing there yet. And I'm pretty sure this is the Thai chili, and you can see it's turning. And we have some peppers here, some there, and then we had some more snapdragons. Here we have our volunteer squash plant, and we have a little baby one here. So I'm thinking it's either like a zucchini or a pumpkin. I don't know yet, we shall see. And then we have the pot here with the ranunculus and the dahlias. The dahlias have been having a hard time. They've been chewed on quite a lot, but they are recovering. I did snap out the middle of most, if not all, of my dahlias. Here's another one here. There's our, oh, it's bright. These are volunteer sweet alyssums. The elephant garlics, they're due to come out pretty soon, maybe in the next week or so. Same for these. I'm actually going to pop this one out. Oh no. The reason why I popped this one out though is because if you look at the stem, it was dying faster than everyone else around it, and that kind of tells me that there may be something wrong down there with that, but I'm gonna pop it out later and show you guys. Down here it's looking a lot better than when I first planted the calendula. I transplanted them from over where I just passed the sweet alyssums, and they are looking amazing. I did go ahead and pop some purple chives in between just to add a tidbit more color and fullness in here. The strawberries that I planted in front, they do not look good, but I'm going to give them a little bit more time. In front here, we had a lot of marigolds, but it looks like they were eaten out. But the yarrows are looking really good. The Black Eyed Susan looks like they've been eaten on, and so has the Sweet William and the Salvia. I will be going ahead and harvesting these garlic scapes today. Here we had like a really hard rainy day like a couple days ago, and it did beat down most of the plants in here, especially this calendula, but I'm happy to see a different color. I love this yellow one. I need to kind of stake and wrap it around so that the salvia is not so burdened down. And we have the blueberry back here that I also need to make sure that I am giving enough room to grow. The artichoke is having no problems at all growing, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be her corner because she demands it. Sometimes I even come in and take off a branch just to help with, not branch, but leaf, just to help with airflow, because they do, when they are tightly packed in, they do tend to attract aphids. And look at this. The spotted lanternfly loves, they love the salvias. So if we come back here, we have, we have the boysenberry, and it was quite unusual because this first, when I saw the red, I was like, yeah, they're ready, because I'm used to the red for the raspberries. But the boysenberry, the boysenberry, you actually have to wait until they are this deep purple. Let me try it. We have the Emily Bront Rose, and I love the way she fades into this very white, like mauvey brown color. Another container of the dahlia and the ranunculus. Hopefully we'll get some flowers soon. The celery is looking amazing. I'm gonna start harvesting some of these leaves. Get that down there. And I did pop some artichokes back here. The volunteer, these are all volunteer potatoes, and I really should have just plucked them out just to have the space, but I didn't because I have a hard time getting rid of volunteers. But they are flowering now, so that means they're going to die back soon. And I'm going to kind of work around and pop some more potatoes in here. So the tomatoes are looking really good so far. Well, look, one is being eaten. But I had the kind of small experiment to see how the different plants would look. No fertilization, no fertilization, none. So it's looking like for at least this varieties, there's a big difference between fertilizing it and not fertilizing it. But for the other ones, I don't see that much of a difference. I mean, the leaves are a little bit bigger, but definitely for I think this is the Brandywine, and then this one back here is the Bisignano #2. The celery here is looking really good as well. I'm having some issues with things going in the garden beds, like balls and stuff, and that's what's causing most of my garlic to be all leaned every which way, especially that one back there. But I'll be interested to see if that affects the heads of the bulbs as much as I do think it will. Maybe that will alleviate some of my concerns. There's the other container that I plan to use for one of my berries. And I'm just going to pop this asparagus out and add it to the rest of the asparagus on the wall. Okras are doing really well. They had a little issue to begin with where they were just being chomped on a bit, but they do look like they're recovering, as you can see with this one here. But they are recovering. They are getting stronger, which is great. So I'm really happy about that. And then I did plant one of my grapes here, and right here is where we've been having like groundhogs come into the garden, and we've set up this have a heart trap, so hopefully we can get them out of here. Oh, Actually, let's go over to the peppers because the sun is going to hit over here first. Yeah, that's fine. So the coli is here. They're looking really good. Everyone looks happy. The sweet alyssum, they didn't look really good in the beginning. They didn't look really good for a while, but it also looks like they're just kind of leaning over perfectly and then coming straight up. So they're looking a little bit better. And then I did go ahead and plant the Rosa Rose here. And I think that will be beautiful at the front of the garden. We do need to fill up that bird bath again. Here, the herbs are looking really good. We have chamomile showing out. I do need to go in and harvest that. And harvesting your herbs is the best way to kind of keep it going. If you don't harvest them, they'll just go ahead and make seed. Here we have the peppers. The Trinidad pimento is doing really well. So is this one. We actually have peppers. Which one is this? The pepperoni, the one that I still can't pronounce. We have a lot of peppers on this one. So this is the one that I'm going to pickle for sandwiches. And then I think this is the purple cayenne. And you could see tons of flowers on here. And then we have the Jimmy Nardello. And you can see we have peppers here. Here, this one is loaded with peppers as well. And then we have the shishito. So much peppers. Here we have the Tabasco. Nothing yet for her. And then here we have the long thin cayenne. And we have one that is kind of, it's always been like a little leaning. So I've been trying to prop it up a bit. And then here we have the, which one is this? Ooh, my knees. I think this is another shishito. Look at that. Then here is the Thai chili. See, it's having some color changes. And then back here is the poblano, and this one is actually the tallest. But as you can see, I haven't had to stake up any of the peppers as yet. I'm hoping my little experiment of just planting two together does what it did last year. Last year it was in the ground, but this year it's in containers. But I think, they're just resting on each other, and keeping them nice and close like this also helps. So go back and clean up this fence. Here's the oregano that I had harvested in the video. It is looking really good. As you can see, my oregano is pretty old. So when I harvested, there was no leaves. There was no leaves on any of the branches down here. And as you can see, it started from the root area and they pushed up new leaves. So this oregano is pretty established. So if you have like a really established oregano, you can do that. For the first couple years, I would recommend that when you're harvesting, cut about 3 inches from the ground and make sure you have leaves in order for them to get energy to supply a regrowth. Bathsheba rose there. I just deadheaded it, and it should be pushing out a second round of bloom, and I'm just hoping that it trails up the side of the deck. The cherry tree here was doing really well, but it seems like the lantern flies have started making her their home. But I went ahead and planted some strawberries around, but they're not doing really well at all. They're not doing well at all, not even really well. This is the Rainier cherry, and this is recovering. Last time I was telling you that something was eating along her trunk here, but it looks like that has stopped and she's pushing out new leaves, so that's good. Here we have the blueberry and the Johnny Jump Ups, and I don't know if the Johnny Jump Ups will push out new blooms. If not, I think I'm going to replace it with some pansies. The hibiscus are doing exceptionally well. They were pretty leggy in the beginning, but I do think I'm going to transplant them once I get the garlic out the bed this week, just so they could have more space to grow. I just wanted to get them out of the container so that they have a little bit more room than the little containers that they were in. So it looks like the Johnny Jump Up here are still showing out. You guys know I absolutely love this flower, and the blueberry is also doing well. This is the Sweet William Dahlia, and you can see the spotted lantern flies. Absolutely loves this plant. Get away, get away. So over here, let's go down here now. So we are planning to paint the house this year, and then this will also be painted the same color as the house. So we're kind of doing like a little mini make-up or makeover, because we didn't fully finish even painting this to begin with. So we had flower pots here, and I had some dahlia tubers that I needed to plant, and I popped them in here. But the animals have been just digging them up, so hopefully we could get the bottom planters fully situated, and then I could put those in the bottom planters. I think they'll have a better time down there anyways. This is my Saint Teresa grape. The spotted lantern flies are all over her. I have to check her like twice a day, but she's doing really well. Apart from that, I just top her up with compost and fertilizer. As far as like training my grape plants, I haven't gotten there yet because I don't have a permanent position for them, so I'm just kind of letting them grow. Hopefully by next year I should have it figured out. This area needs a lot of weeding, and I've been pleading with my husband, the cameraman, to weed for me, but no one likes to weed, so the almond back here is doing really well, exceptionally well. I am so happy. I was really worried that it'll be too shaded here, but she is thriving. The Arkansas apple, not so much. As you can see, she has some rust on her leaves. This is supposed to be the rust-resistant variety, but I think the weather and stuff also plays a role with that. And the weather early spring was like very wet and then really warm, so it was like the extremes of both ends, and The apple does not like that. I also have a juniper tree somewhere too close that also causes the rust issue. The blueberries, we're getting blueberries. I did have her uncovered for a while, as you can see here, and the birds were just going to town. So I went ahead and put these organza bags over her to hopefully protect her berries. I do need to come in and give her a nice deep watering. So I had put some, what is it, like a sun mix. I will show you guys the mix, and I just scattered it up there. And we are getting blooms. It looks like that may be a poppy up there. I just have to kind of let it go this year and figure it out for next year. The bindweed is just horrendous around here, and it's a hard fight that they're currently winning. We have the yarrow here. The black-eyed Susan has some blooms here. My daughter picked off her first couple blooms. The borage here is about to bloom as well. The gomphrena. And then I also picked out some sweet romance lavender that I plan to pop right here. As you can see, the varieties that are not rust resistant, they are having a harder time with this. So I'm going to do another spray of the copper fungicide. This, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I just plopped it in this and try to keep it watered. It's putting out a bloom to help me remember that she's here and she's waiting. Same thing over here with the pink lady apple. I'm just sad. I replanted around the bird bath. As you can hear, I do need to refill this. I put some lantana, some pansies that I grew from seeds, and some snapdragon, and then I'm going to sprinkle around zinnias. Here we have some blueberries. The blueberry is recovering well, just no blueberries this year, but I'm happy to see healthy green foliage. We have the black-eyed Susan in here, some gomphrena, some salvia, another ladybug. This is the lilac. I don't know the variety of this lilac, but this mess back here, as you can see, the morning glory, which creates a nuisance for us, but it's a very pretty flower. So, and then we have wild grapes here that is attracting a lot of the lantern flies, which is here we have some gomphrena, some lemongrass. I think I planted some anemones here as well. And we have a beautiful lone snapdragon. So over here is the newest bed that I did, and I like to call this pear lane. The Bartlett is also dealing with some rust, as you can see on the leaves. But this down here is the other hydrangea. This is the boba hydrangea, and this is how the other one would have looked if it wasn't destroyed by the animals. So I went ahead and planted 2 more pears here. We have a Seckle pear and we have a Moonglow pear. And the behind here, I still have a lot of work to do, but the elderberries are, you could look right here actually. What? You can step right there and look at it if you want. So there's some, what's it called? Chives, purple chives in here. There's some milkweed, some baby blue eyes. They are super tiny, I know, but they'll come up. They'll come up. They're supposed to be perennials, so I'm not too worried about them for next year. I feel like next year they'll be bigger and better. They just need time, but I feel like they're just much better out than in the small containers. And then I did plant strawberries along the edge. The hydrangeas that I was gifted, you can see here, they're putting out blooms. And then I'm gonna go in actually and remove all the dead branches. And lastly, this is the sensational rose. Let's go on the deck really quickly. So of course I have my buckets of rainwater that I'll put inside soon. And we have our planter. I'm actually going to do my rotation right now. The lettuce looking really well, really good, as well as the basils. I want to go in and kind of prune these here. They are looking leggy right now, but I think the shade has been a blessing for these lettuce. They haven't bolted, and I hope that they last us a while. Oh my gosh. Then we have some hydrangeas that I'm going to plant up this week. This is my sweet potato slip maker. Funny enough, this potato has been making slips for me for 2 seasons now. She's on her 2nd season and she is my best producer. This is a Japanese sweet potato that my mom brought over for me. Over here, the lettuce here is going to be the next one that I take from, and I just kind of take leaves at a time instead of taking the entire plant, and that just allows the plant to last longer. I get multiple harvests. And then I did pop a Johnny Jump Up seed here. I just love those flowers. Behind you here is my ginger that I'll be harvesting. I did decide to finally just use this as my ginger container, so I'll be making holes at the bottom of this and planting new ginger. These are my cherry tomatoes that are well overdue with planting. I do have a pineapple tomato in here as well, but they are for the front bed. I'm going to take these tomatoes off. I don't want it to try to make tomatoes right now. The herb green stalk is looking lush. We have the thyme, the rosemary, thyme, and then the oregano that we did trim off. It's coming back beautifully. And then this trailing beauty here is actually a mix of the cilantro that is going to seed, so coriander, and the, what is it again? Baby's breath. So baby's breath and coriander mixed together gives you this beautiful fairy tale like combo. The chamomile here, I'm going to spread it out and put it in the landscape soon, but I'm just housing it there. And then some scallions that I should harvest on pretty soon, just to promote bigger, thicker scallions. The avocado is doing really well. Citrus really well. We're getting new blooms on the dahlia here, and this I grew from seed. Sage beautiful banana, another citrus, and then the strawberries are completely done. They are now putting out these runners. So I'm going to make sure I cut these off. If you leave them, they will make like 4 sets of runners each. I don't want the mother plant to be putting out her energy to make all those babies because I really don't need all that much. So I'm going to come around soon and cut these and actually pop them in soil, and hopefully they root, and then I could put them in this green stalk. So I want to have 2 green stalks of this. I think this is the honey eye and another variety of strawberry that I can't think of right now. So I forgot to mention the peach. She's struggling really badly right now with peach leaf curl. With this disease, there's really nothing you can do. Once it's going through it, that's just it. You just have to wait until next season and, you know, be more on top of your spraying and such. All the peaches that was on her fell off. I literally watched one day as the peach fell off of her. Pretty sad, but next year I'll be more on top of the spraying and all of that. So the artichokes are doing really well. This is a grouping of 4, I believe. The Emily Bronze, I do think it's a little too big for this space. I would need to actually put her back a little bit more. I do want to move one of these, what is it, pomegranate back here. I think I want to do like a trio over here with the other 2, and maybe put like an evergreen here or something like that. We do have still some volunteer bachelor button, some snapdragon back here, and I did put in the front some strawberries. We have volunteer calendula. We have some tomatoes growing in between these garlic, and like I said, that's because I used my compost and there were still seeds in it. And we have the music garlic. They're still looking really good. They probably have a couple more weeks to go. I went ahead and planted a peony right here. It hasn't popped up yet. And then we have a dahlia here that I recently pinched. I would have liked it to be able to go right here, but we have that termite thing there. As far as over here, these strawberries I think are pretty much done. They are putting out runners now. The onions are about to put on their show. Hold on. As you can see, so I have some that are like single, and then I have some that are doubled and tripled, but this is like a single one. Yeah, so they are sending out their runners now. I just want to make sure that I'm like kind of guiding them out of the path. Here's another onion here. This is one of the triples. So I just want to make sure I keep the path clean and clear. Pick this one a little bit early. We have the snapdragon here. Beautiful, bright yellow. I think this is perfect. I hope it reseeds more along the sides. We have some gladiolas here. And then the banana is looking so much better than it did prior. And then we finally have one of the dahlias coming up. As far as the cherries, they're looking really good. Here's this one here. And then we have one last feverfew, even though I know it'll probably spread everywhere like a maniac. I did go ahead and plant a peony here that hasn't popped up yet. This was where the feverfew was, but it was just too tall and rambunctious. So this is where I will end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is now our third official garden tour. I'm so excited for this garden season. Please pray for me with all these pests in my garden, and I really hope that you guys are having a much better start to your season than I am with these pests. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!